in this video, we will see algebra of complex number, and I will teach you how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide complex numbers. So for that, I will take, for example, I will take two complex numbers. Say Z1 is 2 plus 3i. Okay, that's the first complex number, Z1. And Z2 is 3 plus 4i. I'm just taking two random complex numbers here. And now we will see various operations that can be performed. The first and very simple operation is addition. So we will see how we can add two complex numbers. Say if I want to find Z1 plus Z2. Now I want to add this and this complex number. It will be 2 plus 3i Z1 plus 3 plus 4i Z2, and now I want to simply add them. So there is a plus sign in between these two. And the operation is quite obvious also, that whenever you add complex numbers, you will add real part with the real part, and you will add imaginary part with imaginary part. Just always remember that. So it is going to be 2, the real part will be again added to 3, this will become 5, and imaginary part will get added up, and you will get 3 plus 4. Okay, that's going to be 7i. Okay, this is how we got the first operation, that is addition. Quite simple. Now guess second is going to be what? It is going to be subtraction. Okay, so we will see how we can subtract two complex number. Okay, very similar to addition. Now we have to subtract. Okay, so let us do Z1 minus Z2. Z1 is 2 plus 3i, and I will subtract 3 plus 4i. So let us do Z1 minus Z2. And it is very similar to addition. You will subtract real part with the real part and imaginary part with the imaginary part. So you do 2 minus 3, subtract real with real, you will get minus 1, and subtract imaginary with imaginary. So it is 3i minus 4i. So it is minus I. Okay, that's a subtraction. So just remember that whenever you're performing addition or subtraction, you add real part with real part, and add imaginary part with imaginary part. I hope you get that. It's the easiest part of these operations. Now let us go to the third operation. And the third operation, you can guess, it is multiplication. Okay, so we will see how we can multiply two complex numbers. So if I have to multiply, it is Z1 into Z2. If I want to multiply Z1 and Z2, so it's going to be like this. This is the Z1 value is 2 plus 3i, and multiply that with 3 plus 4i. Okay, multiplying complex number is actually quite easy. Like how you will multiply two brackets, you will do the same thing. So you will multiply 2, the first term, with this bracket, 2 into 3 plus 4i, plus, then you will write plus 3i, multiply that with the next bracket. So it is 3 plus 4i. This is usually how we multiply brackets anyways, right? So let us multiply and see what we get. It is 3 to the 6. Then this is 4 to the 8. 4 to the 8 and I. Do you get that part? So the next one is going to be 3i times 3. That is 3 3s are 9i. Okay. And now we will multiply 3i with the 4i. So it's going to be 3i into 4i. This is 3 4s are 12. And I into I will be I square. So you'll get plus 12i square. Okay, so we got till here. Now at this point, I want to tell you a few things, and just be very careful and remember these things as well. That, okay, let me write down here. Whenever you have I square, okay, it is, we need I square here, right? Now I'll tell you what is I square. I square is going to be, do you know I? We have defined I as a square root of minus 1. Okay, so if I square on both sides, I will get this as I square, and this square root will go away. So this will be simply minus 1. So have you realized the value of I square is going to be minus 1? Okay, so for I square, that is over here, I will write this value as minus 1. Okay, so now let us rewrite the equation with I square as minus 1. Now just remember this, we'll be using this quite a lot. So you have to remember value of I square is minus 1. Okay, and this will be 6 plus 8i plus 9i minus 12. This is 12 times minus 1. So this will become plus 12 will become minus 12. And now this is nothing but the addition of complex number. So how do you do that? Real part, which is 6, will be, added or subtracted with the real part. So you have 6 and minus 12. So that will become minus 6. And imaginary part is 8i, that you will add with the 9i. So this is going to be 17i. Okay, so that is how we do the multiplication. And meanwhile, remember, this is going to be term you will see all over. So the value of I square is minus 1. Now let me also write down a few more of these. That also remember that whenever you have I raised to 4, okay, you will just square this, right? So if you square I square, that will become I raised to 4. So if you square I square, minus 1 also you have to square. The square of minus 1 is going to be plus 1. You get that? So the value of I raised to 4 is plus 1. Remember this. And what if you want I cube? Well, I can write I cube as I square into I. And we already know the value of I square, which is minus 1. So let me write this as minus 1, and this is I. Okay, so let me write that better. Minus 1, that's the value of I square, into I. This is I cube. Okay, so that is going to be minus I. Now the next is I cube is minus I. And these three things you have to remember. The first one, I square is minus 1. Second one, I raised to 4 is plus 1. And third one, I cube is minus I. Very, very important. You will need it every now and then. So you better remember that. All right. So we've done the third operation, multiplication. Now the fourth and the last operation is going to be division of complex numbers. So we'll see how we can divide two complex numbers. I want to basically find out now Z1 divided by Z2. Okay. We already have Z1 value. The Z1 value is 2 plus 3i. We write 2 plus 3i. And Z2 is 3 plus 4i. Okay. Now to do a division, okay, do you already know from school that whenever you have, say, 1 divided by 2 plus square root of 3, whenever there is a square root, okay, it's a common practice. The easiest and the simplest way to solve this is just multiply and divide by 2 minus root 3. And we call it conjugate, right? We call this conjugate. If you have 2 plus root 3, the conjugate of this is 2 minus root 3. And you multiply and divide by that so that you can simplify these things very easily. So it's the same thing. Please understand that when you are saying a complex number, okay, the I over here is nothing but a square root. Okay, so you literally have a square root in the denominator over here. Okay, and to solve this, the best way is to multiply and divide by a conjugate. Okay, and you can also remember that whenever you see a complex number in a denominator, you always multiply and divide by its conjugate and rationalize. Okay, so it is going to be 3 minus 4i. 3 minus 4i. We'll multiply and divide by this. Okay, so once we do that, there is one more formula of algebra. It's very famous. I hope you already know that if you have a plus b times a minus b, that's a square minus b square. All right. So we can use this formula and simplify this further. Let us see what we get. For denominator, we can use this formula, right? So a plus b, a minus b. Do you see 3 plus 4i, 3 minus 4i? So it is going to be 3 square and 4i square minus 4i the whole square. And for numerator, you have to again multiply. We already know how to do multiplication. Just multiply two brackets, how you usually do, like how we did here. Okay, so we will do the multiplication now for the numerator. It is going to be 2 multiplied with 3 minus 4i plus 3i multiplied with 3 minus 4i. Okay, so I'm just going to try to complete that over here itself. Okay, this is going to be 3 square. 3 square is 9. And well, there is a minus here. Do you understand? 4i square is 4 square I square. I can square both the terms like that. Okay, I hope you know this is a simple rule of algebra. And now numerator, let us multiply quickly. This is 3 to the 6 over here. And then 2 4s are 8. So it's minus 8i. Then 3i into 3 is going to be plus 9i. And this is 3 4s are 12. So it is minus 12i square. Just be careful. It is going to be I square. So now let me continue writing here. Okay, so let me use this space to write this down. Okay, so tell me about this. This is going to be numerator is 6 minus 8i, okay, plus 9i, and this is minus 12i square. Do you know I square is minus 1? So now this will become plus 12, right? And then this is 9 minus 4 square is going to be 16, okay? And well, I square is minus 1. Do you see? So this will become minus 1 here. So this will become plus eventually, okay? So this is 9 and 16. The total is 25. Okay, so once you get this 25, what will happen to numerator? You will have to add real part with the real part. So you'll 6 and 12, both of them are real. So you'll add the two. This will become 18. Okay, and minus 8i plus 9i will give you plus 1i. And there is always a practice that you write down the real and imaginary parts separate. So right now, if you have a plus, now if you have this, you can divide 25 to both of them. It is going to be 18 divided by 25, the first part, plus I 1 divided by 25. And that is how your answer is going to be for the fourth operation, that is division. Now in all these operations, there is one last point that I want to make, and this point is very important. Okay, if you can see, do you see for every operation, the first operation was addition, and the answer that I've got over here, do you see it is written in the form of x plus iy? Now, if you see the second operation, which is subtraction, again, the answer here is written as x plus iy. Even in the third operation, multiplication, okay, we got the answer once again in the form of x plus iy. And even for division, I've got the answer as x plus iy. So what happens is, as I told you, that the complex number has got a standard format that you write z as x plus iy. So you should always write your answer as the real part plus I times the imaginary part, like I have always done for all the operations. You know, that's the standardized way of writing down a complex number. Okay, so that's about it. So these are the basic operations that you can perform: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. A quick wrap up: for addition and subtraction, do real with real and imaginary with imaginary. For multiplication, open brackets how you usually do. It's very simple. And for division, remember this part here, that whenever you have a complex number in denominator, you always multiply and divide by its conjugate.